All right, there we go. What is going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for last week I said Potomac Real Housewives of Atlanta. Season 16, episode 3. We start off with Britt and Mike. They have a caterer there because the in-laws are coming. Whatever. She said she went with Mike because she was looking for, like, she didn't want to be with somebody who was trying to stunt and flaws because that's what she was used to. Further talks about being a video vixen when she was in high school, like that is the thing, and it's not. So her in-laws are over. He wants the child tomorrow. She wants the ceremony tomorrow, even though they're already married. We found out that she lost her dad in 2015. He was in the mortgage industry. There was a 2 milli policy, but it couldn't pay out because he was switching professions. This is why she decided to do life insurance. Now, I am actually studying to be a certified life insurance agent, and it's a lot that she's not saying here because if it didn't pay out because he was switching professions, that means that his life insurance policy was tied to the job that he was in. And one thing that I just want to mention, especially what's going on in the world right now, if you can help it, don't have your life insurance tied up to the company that you work for, because if you get hit, if you have to go through something catastrophic like cancer or something like that, your job will find a reason to fire you. So one, you lose all your medical benefits, but also if the worst comes, they don't have to pay off on that insurance. That happens a lot. I actually know people who got fired and their life insurance was through their respective jobs, even federal. Like when I got on board, I made it clear, like, yeah, I can. How can I opt out of this insurance thing? Because I'm not going to sit here and pay y'all a premium, knowing that if things don't work out, no, not doing that. So if that's the case, something is off with that, and I'm gonna just leave it there because that's gonna make me think about my dad and his situation. Then I'm gonna get angry. So yeah, but again, if y'all can help it, don't do that, right? Again, do I know everything about life insurance? No, I know more than most. Okay, and we just gonna leave that right there. And please don't go to Brit. Don't do that. Let's see. But yeah, she said this is why she decided to do life insurance, whatever. Um, she says that the relationship between her and her sisters are off because she brought both of them to work with her. One just wanted everything easy. The other one didn't like that, she was being strict, this, that, and the third, or whatever the case. I really don't care because she gives liars. So her sister used to work for her. They don't work no more. It's a strained relationship. One thing about Mike is it's something about him that gives shisty, almost street dude type of shiesty, but I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. We get Portia and Kelly. They're sitting down. It's like brunch type of situation. Almost clear the air. We found out that Kelly is going to have a Balmain event, and she's pretty much meeting with Portia ahead of time to clear the air before they actually get to the event. Portia feels that her she has different personalities. Now Kelly says in her interview that, well, if I got different personalities, well, she has multiple men. Wish she would have said that in the scene, but again, trying to move forward, so I get it. Portia brings up her talk with Shamia. Kelly says that all I did was ask the question, and Shamia pretty much said that I should ask you. Portia feels set up by Shamia, but I'm trying to figure out, how do you feel set up by Shamia when Shamia came to you and told you exactly what was said, and pretty much prepare yourself because this question might come to you. Again, this is Portia looking for a reason to not mess with Shamia. Ain't nobody stupid. And the air is clear. One thing I will say, I enjoyed this scene because this gave very much old school Housewives, where the issue is present for 2 to 3, maybe 4 episodes at max. It's dead. We on to something else. I appreciated it. We get Drew. She's in the studio. She says she's a little hoarse. Angela, Cynthia, Kenya are also there. They talk about, the song, the love song that she's doing, all other stuff. That, if I'm not mistaken, is the first and last track of her album. I haven't listened to it yet. And when I say first and second, at first and last, it's the first song, but then it's did again, I think, with somebody else on it for almost like a remix or whatever. Let's see. Kenya asks where is Dennis because isn't he producing an album? Drew says he was supposed to be there but isn't. Drew says that she doesn't talk to them; they just text, but that's a lie because production called her out on that. Um, Kenya feels that Drew was wrong for not clearing things with Portia before reaching out, and even Cynthia says that when Kenya did Life to Her Zone, she got my blessings before reaching out to my baby daddy, and we saw that. They talk about the gym meetup with Shamia and how that all went. And Portia reached out the day after Shamia's party because she wants to talk to Drew at some point. We get Shamia, her sisters are over. They talk about her daughters Shia and Shiloh. Shamia feels that things are never ending because everything has been going on with Shiloh. Now this year is her and it's Shia, and one thing that I hated that she did is that it's like she's calling that perpetual thing to stay over her where it's always something. Like you should never say that, even if that's what you feel. You know, never do that because the fact that she said and she's breathing life into it, then more things that are like that are going to continue to happen, and then she's gonna really feel away. So yeah, I did not like that. Shamia is good at masking her emotions and makes it so that she's okay to be there for others, so she can forget about herself. Again, a lot of strong people do it. I've been known to do it, and if I don't do that, I will throw myself into work to where I work myself to exhaustion to where by the time like I'm so exhausted that it's time to go to bed, and before my mind could fully start to think about what I've been suppressing, I'm already knocked out. So been there, done that. But Shamia needs to take a break from trying to build this family and focus on healing and also healing her body. Like healing needs to happen immediately. So we get Angela. She's at one of her investment properties. Charles shows up 20 minutes later. She's a little upset about that. We find out that Charles has invested his money into helping with these properties, which leads more into it, which I didn't even assume that he did because the way that she was making it seem that these are all hers. So the fact that he's invested into it and yet to see a return, yeah, yeah, not really looking too good. And I'm not, and I don't even know how it's going to be with the current market. But she then talks about him being kicked out of a game when they were newly married. Because of that, she didn't know how to deal, so created distance between them, physically. And then, now they're back together. She wants to make this thing work. She wants to do a vow renewal, but feels that he's holding it over her head because pretty much until the properties are done and sold. And she wants him to go to therapy. Now, with all that being said, I cannot, because if it's just a simple vow renewal, yes, but it's more than likely going to be a big extravagant thing, and I don't think he's holding it over her head. Is let's tie up these loose ends when it comes to the money before we sit here and we pour money into something else. And that's what I feel. And again, she's probably possibly wanting to have this vow renewal for the show. We'll see. We get Drew. She meets with her lawyer. The last time, now she lets us know the last time that they did mediation that Ralph did not even have his lawyer, that he represented himself, cross-examined her. The goal is to get Ralph out of the house so they can then sell the house. Ralph is dragging his feet on providing financials, so that's holding them up. The judge is wanting to unseal the court records, and Drew is like, oh, well, what does that entail? And you can tell Drew pretty much told her lawyer to bring all this up because if it can't be talked about because it's sealed, then that leads us to believe that the records have already been unsealed. And she knew what she was doing, trying to having this conversation. I mean, come on now, let's keep it a buck. But again, a scene had to be had, and I'm okay with it, especially knowing that we gonna get a scene with her and Ralph next episode. Like, give me something that's actually happening that's tangible. Uh, So we get a small scene with Shamia and Shia, her going to get her tonsils removed. Again, got money because the doctor came to the car to greet them. That is money. We get Portia and Diane. It's a spa day. I don't really care about the marriage thing, but she brings up the Shamia of it all, and Diane says you gotta watch a dog that will bring a bone. But at the same exact, and again, I get it. Diane is gonna ride for her daughter, especially because that's her meal ticket and whatnot. But you also gotta know your daughter, because she was like, I know y'all been friends, but and this leads me to believe that she don't like Shamia either. But that ain't my business. So we're at the very end of this thing. Is the Balmain event? Is for osteogenesis imperfecta awareness. We found that 10% of the proceeds will go towards this cause. This is her favorite fashion house. She's closed down the store for this event. Portia and Drew, we found out, share makeup artists, and Drew cut into her makeup time, but Portia was still able to make it on time. Britt and Kenya hug. So as you can see, it ain't no issue, ain't no ill will when it comes to Kenya. But again, this is all Britt. Three of Kelly's daughters have been diagnosed with osteogenesis imperfecta. I'm sorry, and it's also kind of known as brittle bone disease. And we find out that her girls, I believe one of them had gotten like pretty much bruised kind of easily, and they were held, like she was held, and with a threat of her kids being taken away from her because they thought that she was abusing her children until they were diagnosed and was able to get past that. And that is something that is so sad. And whenever you have certain things dealing with children, that like certain stuff stays on the record. And if there's like a flag of like the child going to the hospital or whatever, like stuff like that, in this instance it goes away. But in some cases dealing with child protective services, don't always go away. Let's see what so the girls with conflict are trying to figure out if they should address things with one another. Angela says to Shamia that she would like to talk. Shamia says she's down to meet Angela and not Drew's representative, despite the fact you being kind of hypocritical because, ma'am, you be Portia's representative, but that ain't my business. Angela says that this is the real her, so Shamia says she's cool on her. Then Angela calls Shamia Shamina. Shamia calls her out for her 90s nose. Angela calls her Flavor Flav. Shamia says that they need that she needs glue to get her nose back down. Angela says that she needs to get her nose out of Portia's ass. Look, I'm here for the back and forth sparring, even though I don't really know where this came from, and I feel like it's kind of put on. But hey, I mean, I'm here for it because it wasn't heavy; it was light. And then Shamia says like, okay, now I might address this Flavor Flav for Halloween, but I didn't know that she was gonna come in here dressed as Latoya Jackson today. I hollered. Got a dark skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. So Shamia apologizes to Drew. They get over it. Again, old school housewives appreciate it. We found out $30,000 was spent that night. Um, let's see. Drew goes to talk to Portia. Drew says that Portia had said that she wasn't feeling well last week, and didn't want to talk to her, but now that she's trying to talk to her, she doesn't want to talk to her now. And Portia is claiming that the reason that she doesn't want to talk to Drew is because Heavy D is right there, and she's talking about Allison, which I'm like, I don't really think you want those problems from Allison. But okay. And that's it. That's all I got. We will be at, I believe, no, Josiah's house tomorrow for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. So I will see you then. Rate, comment, subscribe, and share. See y'all tomorrow. Peace out.